Welcome everybody to the Hippo DeFi Kingdoms YouTube channel, your one-stop shop for everything DeFi Kingdoms. Alright, so this is going to be a part 2 of my previous video in which I outlined some theories as far as this so-called Generation 12 that has been rumored by Hubert, who is the game mechanics expert for DeFi Kingdoms. So let's just jump in. Let's look at the initial hints that Hubert had given us. In the initial hints, Hubert had told us that there is a possibility of Gen 12 starting at Gen 2. If you discovered it at Gen 2, you would not be making a Gen 12 right then. That would obviously take a massive amount of time and a massive amount of resources. So, just to reiterate what was in my previous video, by the way, the link to the video is going to be below in the description if you would like to take a look. So in this video, just as a quick summary, I noted that there does seem to be some sort of potential match between the environments or the biomes that a hero card has, as well as the element that the card has. So just below, I've noted down the 8 locations or biomes, as well as the elements below that. I'm wondering, is there a match? Possibly. Just quickly, I also went through the cosmetic features and I tried to create a taxonomy, if that's the right word, a classification system to go through all of these cosmetic features which exist on every hero but really are not well discussed or described in any other YouTube videos or any other Medium articles. So I broke it down into head traits, back traits, hairstyle, as well as color of these 3 things, as well as the eyes. I found that in Generation 1, there do seem to be some sort of new traits for the head. So these are the ones that are highlighted in orange. I also found 4 from Gen 1 for the back, which all seem to be wings, which I thought was interesting. And I also just quickly tried to make a basic classification of hairstyles, as well as what was new in Gen 1. Now these may also be gender related, and I also noticed just as I was perusing through the tavern a bit later on, there was another one. So I didn't dive too much into the hairstyles. I feel like that might be a dead end, personally, but I could be wrong. Now, as far as these traits, I found that the Gen 1 traits, there does seem to be a bit of a potential for a matching system in terms of the head traits, at least, and the back traits. Especially, for example, looking at some of these, like the antennae and the butterfly wings, they seem like a definite match. There could also be the diagonal horns up here, which only appear from Generation 1, as well as the demon wings. And these other 2 pairs, possibly this setup or a different setup. So, since then, I did go onto Discord and I've heard a few interesting things, so let's just jump right in. So, the 2 things I heard that were fascinating were from Hubert, who is basically the game mechanics guru. He's the developer and he makes the game mechanics, so he can explain a good deal about them when he chooses to. As well as I got a hint from Sarah, who is the lady who is the founder of DeFiKingdomsWiki.com, as well as the Stellarverse. So what did they say? Hubert, I basically told him about my theory and that there might be something to do with the traits from the head and the back, cosmetic features. He said, I am venturing into some dark alleyways, it's a bit simpler than that. That was heartbreaking. However, he did give some more information further on. There was another Discorder by the name of Snoozy who described Dread Knights having to have at least 1 summon. So if you breed a Gen 10 Dragoon with a Gen 10 Sage with 1 summon left, you could get a Gen 11 with 1 summon extra that will pop up. Hubert said, you're basically there, but there is just 1 more step. So it does seem that it is something to do with advancement of summoning. There's a certain combination there that can lead to a new generation. After this, I asked again about my theory, a bit of my crackpot theory, and he said he's encouraged to see the cosmetic mutations and people looking out for it. Fair enough. So this person by the name of Jackson McD/Morph said that I had a theory that elemental and location impacted quest rewards based on the quests. Then I saw my egg was pulled from a desert pirate. And Hubert responded with, this is not true for the professions, but it might be true in the future for other things. So, is there potential for the locations, the biomes, and or the elements to affect quests down the road, possibly in terms of combat? We'll see. The last thing that I noticed was from Sarah, and Sarah said this very specific information. So after I posted my link to my video, she said, I think you want to take a look at the summoner class and their summon outputs. And I asked for clarification, what does that mean? And she wrote, summoner offspring, I'd start there. So the summoner is an advanced class And when you do have offspring from the summoner, the aim is to produce an elite class. So summoner plus ninja can make, with about a 10% odds, as far as I remember, they can make a sage. So she said, start there. Now, after this, I noticed something really interesting happened. Now let's take a look at that. This is the new summon that I just got. It's pretty damn awesome. My bragging is not the intention of this video, trust me. This is not a humble brag, although it kind of is. So, this is my hero. He's a legendary dragoon. Now he has 1 out of 1 summons. So, let's take a look at this hero in a bit more detail, or his parentage, shall I say. So where are we? Let's just scroll to Dark Knight, as well as Dragoon and Paladin, so I can actually find them.
A few moments later.
This is the first parent. So, Astaroth Thunderbane is the father. He's a Dark Knight warrior, he's a Gen 1, and he just ran out of summons. He's on 0 summons, none left. That's him, and the other one, the other parent, was...
A few moments later.
Zucron Sunwards, a Paladin Knight, again, ran out of summons. So, we'll flip the card. That's him. Now, the question is, why does this Dragoon have a summon left? Let's have a look at the data. Okay, I'll put it up on the screen now. So the side-by-side comparison is just here. What we have at the top is we've got Astaroth Thunderbane, parent 1, Zucron, parent 2, and the child, or the new summon, Barbjorn, the Dragoon. So Astaroth, he is Generation 1, Zucron, he is Generation 2. They're both advanced classes, and they both made an elite class. So I was looking at these and I was trying to think to myself, what is something unique about this that does not occur elsewhere that could be the reason to get an extra summon? So I came up with a few possibilities. One is that there is a generation gap between both of the parents. So Astaroth is Gen 1 and Zucron is Gen 2. And then the next Gen plus 1, i.e. Gen 3, was the summon, and that gave the extra summon. So I thought that might be a theory, and I thought another potential possibility could be the fact that they did create elite offspring. I haven't personally experienced 2 advanced classes or 2 of any other type of class creating an extra summon. So that is a factor here. Could that be what is required? And if so, the odds would be quite difficult to actually get to Gen 12. Now, the hint from Sarah was summoner offspring, I'd start there, so maybe that's a hint that it is only advanced classes, potentially creating elite classes, that can create this extra summon. Now, just with that in mind, and assuming that were the case, and it may not be, there may be some other reason that I've completely missed, in order to get to Gen 12, based on that theory, my figuring was that you would need at least 2 advanced classes. One of them would need to be at least Generation 8 with 3 out of 3 summons, at least Gen 9 with 2 summons, or at least Gen 10 with 1 summons. The reason for this is when you create an elite class, i.e. a Dragoon or a Sage, they have a maximum of 3 summons. So if you had a younger generation, say a Gen 7 with 3 summons, that could only go forwards 3 more generations, and that could not get you to Gen 12. Whereas if I did have a Gen 8, the child would then be Gen 9 with 3 summons, and that could get you to Gen 12 because 9 plus 3 is 12. So going along that logic, similarly if you had a Gen 9 advanced with 2 summons, or a Gen 10 with 1 summon, and you did get this thing working, you could potentially get to a Gen 12. So that was my theory, where you have one hero who is this generation and a second hero who is possibly at least one, maybe more, but 1 generation at least below in order to get that extra summon to get to Gen 12. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I could be way off base. Please let me know what you think. Do you have any other thoughts, or am I just going off on a random tangent again? Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate. If you did like the content of this video, I would appreciate a like and ideally a subscribe. Incidentally, if you're looking at this picture, I am curious to see what would happen if you did combine these wings with these horns, if you made this little butterfly setup, or if you had the demon with matching back and head. They look too similar for there to be absolutely no effect, but I haven't tried it. I've tried not to waste my jewel, and this could very well be nothing, but I really want to make a butterfly. If anyone else has made a butterfly, let me know what you think. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.